Ladies and gentlemen, welcome as Bellator MMA returns to London, England tomorrow night. Bellator 267 from the SSC Arena, Wembley, live on Showtime and live here in the UK on BBC iPlayer. We welcome those joining us on the live stream as we get set for the weigh-ins for tomorrow night's Bellator 267. Tomorrow night live on Showtime and live on BBC iPlayer in the main event. Nearly 2.5 years in the making. The rematch between the number 1 and number 2 ranked welterweights. It's the 3-time former world champion Douglas Lima set to square off once again against London's very own MVP, Michael "Venom" Peydj. That, the welterweight showdown, the rematch in tomorrow night's main event. We welcome you to Bellator 267, the weigh-ins here, fighters on the scale in just a moment. I'm Michael C. Williams. As we kick things off, a thank you to our sanctioning body, the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation, President of Sports and Entertainment, Mr. Tom Cantone, supervising on site, as always, Director Mike Mazzulli. Tomorrow night, Bellator 267 live, as we mentioned, on Showtime, as always, and throughout the UK, live on BBC iPlayer. Here's your start times. Locally, in the UK on BBC iPlayer, we'll kick off the action at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. In the States, that's 4 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Showtime. The prelims, 3 hours earlier here in the UK on BBC iPlayer. 6 o'clock is your start time, 1 o'clock Eastern in the States rather, and you can catch the action, the prelim action, on YouTube at Bellator MMA, Showtime Sports, or on the Pluto TV. Now, let's get your first fighters to the scale. We'll weigh in the prelims. First, starting off with your first prelim in the bantamweight division, it is JJ Jr. versus Hurszed Kahorov. Your first fighter to the scale out of the blue corner, please welcome Jair JJ Jr. At 7-2 as a professional. First up on the scale, officially 136. 136 pounds even for JJ. And now his opponent out of Tajikistan, please welcome Hurszed Killer Kahorov. Undefeated as a professional at 7-0 on the scale. Killer at 134.8, 134.8 pounds. Your first matchup, Bellator 267 tomorrow night. It is Jair JJ Jr. Hurszed the Killer Kahorov. Next up, we go to 115 pounds. It'll be Dalista against Penko. First fighter to the scale, please welcome Katrina Tigress Dalista. At 5-2 as a professional, fighting out of Frankfurt, Germany. Officially, 115.4. 115.4 pounds for Dalista. And now her opponents, please welcome Chiara Beastie Barbie Penko. Fighting out of Livorno, Italia, 5-3 as a professional. 114.8, 114.8 pounds for Penko. Fight number 2 on the prelim card for Bellator 267. At 115 pounds, Katrina Dalista and Chiara Penko. Next up, we go to the featherweight division. It'll be Rose versus Jetta. First fighter to the scale, out of London, England, Nathan, the Black Rose. as a pro, 7-3. On the scale, 145 pounds, 145 even for Rose. And now his opponent, Jetta. Fighting out of Aubervilliers, France. He's undefeated at 7-0. On the scale, 145.2. 145.2 pounds for Jetta. Featherweight set for 3 5-minute rounds. Nathan, the Black Rose against Jetta. We go now to the welterweight division. It'll be Jones versus Grant first to the scale. Mr. Bag and Tag, Nathan Jones. At 13-10 as a pro, he fights out of Richmond, England. On the scale officially, 170.6. 170.6 for Jones. Next up on the scale, fighting out of Grimsby, England, Jack Grant. As a professional, 17 wins, 7 losses. On the scale, 169.4. 169.4 for Grant. Fourth on the prelim card tomorrow night. There's your matchup. Nathan, Mr. Bag and Tag, Jones against Jack Grant. Next up at flyweight, it'll be Chaskova versus Kalyanedu. First up to the scale out of Prague, please welcome Petra Chaskova. As a professional, 4-3, and on the scale officially, 125.6. 125.6 for Chaskova. And now her opponent, fighting out of Preveza, Greece, Elena Gunner Kalyanedu. Officially 124.4. 124.4 pounds for Kalyanedu. Fight number 5 on the prelims tomorrow night at Bellator 267. Petra Chaskova against Elena Kalyanedu. Next up, we go to the lightweight division. Again, set for 3 5-minute rounds. Gallon versus Musa. First up to the scale, Davy Gallon. Le Normand, fighting out of Normandy, France. 18-7-2 as a professional. On the scale officially, 155.1. 155.1 pounds officially for Gallon. And now his opponent out of Manchester, England, Kane, the Danger, Musa. 13-3 as a pro on the scale, 155.2. 155.2 pounds for Musa. Prelim number 6 tomorrow night, lightweight set, Davy Gallon, Kane, Musa. Next up, we go to the welterweight division, the final prelim tomorrow night for Bellator 267. It will be Dubois against Long. First fighter out of the blue corner, Michael Bad Boy Dubois out of Geneva, Switzerland. Officially 170.2, 170.2 pounds. And now his opponent, Lewis, the Foot Long. Out of Rhondda, Kenentaf, Wales, 18-6 as a pro. Officially 169.8, 169.8 pounds for Long. There's your seventh and final matchup on the prelims tomorrow night, Bellator 267. Catch the action live in the States, 1 o'clock Eastern start time on YouTube at Bellator MMA or Showtime Sports. You can also catch those prelims on Pluto TV. Here in the UK, you can catch it live on BBC iPlayer. Your start time locally in the UK, 6 p.m. And now, we go to the main card tomorrow night. Bellator 267. Bellator MMA's return to London from the SSE Arena, Wembley. A 5-fight main card kicks off tomorrow night. Live on Showtime in the States. Your start time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Here in the UK, live on BBC iPlayer. Start time will be 9 o'clock locally, and we'll kick it off at 9 p.m. here in London with your first of 5 fights. It'll be lightweights to kick it off. Wild versus Landu, your first fighter to the scale from Birmingham, England, Tim Wild. (13-4) as a professional. 6 knockouts, 1 submission to his credit. On to the scale at 155.6, 155.6 pounds for Wild. And now his opponent fighting out of Paris, France. Please welcome Yves Landu. 15 victories, 8 defeats, 9 finishes on his resume. 4 by knockout, 5 by submission. On to the scale. 154.4, 154.4 pounds for Landu. Bellator 267, a 5-fight main card. Tomorrow night, we'll kick it off live with these 2 lightweights. They're set. Tim Wild, Yves Landu. We'll jump up now for your second fight to the light heavyweight division. It'll be Bahati versus Trainer. First fighter to the scale, Yannick, the Black Mamba Bahati. Bahati back in the Bellator cage, 9-5 overall as a pro, 8 finishes to his credit. On the scale officially, 206, 206 pounds even for Bahati. And now his opponent, Luke, the Gent Trainer. Fighting out of Stevenage, England, undefeated at 4-0. All of his wins by finish. Officially scale says 205.2, 205.2 pounds for Trainer. You'll see it tomorrow night. Fight number 2 live on Showtime. Here in the UK, live on BBC iPlayer. Light heavyweights, Yannick, the Black Mamba Bahati, Luke, the Gent Trainer. Next up, we'll go to the featherweight division. It'll be Fisher versus Whiteford. First fighter to the scale, Andrew Fisher. Out of Sunderland, England, 18-8-1, 15 finishes. On the scale, 145.8, 145.8 pounds for Fisher. And now his opponent, Robert the Hammer Whiteford. Out of Fauldhouse, Lothian, Scotland, 16-4 as a pro. On the scale, 144.8, 144.8 pounds for Whiteford. Fight number 3 tomorrow night live on Showtime. Live here in the UK on BBC iPlayer, Fisher Whiteford. Head of Bellator Europe, Mr. David Green, on stage now to welcome the co-main event and the main event of the evening. First, the co-main event, 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. It'll be Borga versus Court. First up to the scale from Lakeland, Florida, Jessica, the Black Widow Borga. Officially 145.8 pounds, 145.8 for Borga. And now, 4-0 in the Bellator cage. Please welcome Leah, the Curse McCord. 5-1 overall as a pro out of Belfast. Officially 145.8. Identical weights, 145.8 as well for McCord. Featherweight set to throw down in the co-main event tomorrow night for Bellator 267. Jessica, the Black Widow, Borga, Leah, the Curse, McCord. And now we go to the main event of the evening. Nearly 2.5 years to get the rematch back in the Bellator cage. It's number 1 versus number 2. First up, we welcome the former 3-time Bellator welterweight world champion, the Phenom, Douglas Lima. Out of Atlanta by way of Brazil. Officially on the scale, 169.4 for the veteran, 169.4 for Lima. And now, we welcome his opponent out of London, England, MVP Michael Venom Peydj. On the scale, officially 170 even, 170 pounds even for Peydj. A back and forth contest at Bellator 221. May of 2019, Lima took it round number 2, 35 seconds in by knockout. And now the rematch is on. Lima ranked number 1, Peydj ranked number 2. Your main event tomorrow night is set. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we are now set for Bellator 267. That, your main event, Douglas Lima, Michael Venom Peydj. Thank you, David, and thank you all for joining us. For those that joined us on the live stream, we thank you as well for tuning in to the Bellator 267 weigh-ins. We are set for tomorrow night's action here in the UK. Make sure you catch us on BBC iPlayer, 9 o'clock local. Main card start, 6 o'clock local on BBC iPlayer will be the start for the prelims. In the States, of course, as always, Bellator MMA live on Showtime. Your start, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock on the West Coast. We will see you tomorrow night from London, England, live on Showtime for Bellator 267.